That's what's up. It's your boy Tamzi. Welcome back to episode 93 of the weekly patch notes. What it is, what it do. Hope y'all are keeping groovy like a driving movie. You smell me. With me, I got Max Whale. What's good, homie?
Yo, what's going on?
Screw, man. And then we also have Kid Kojo. What's good, bro?
Alive.
Now I'm melting, bro. Close to just being a puddle of myself. But anyways, we're gonna keep it slick, slippery, and smooth. Welcome back to another episode. Please do leave a like and subscribe. And welcome back to another X2 skip. So, quick one. Any admin and stuff before we get started?
Not really. Outside admin. Looking forward to the Super Bowl halftime performance. Otherwise, the Super Bowl couldn't care less.
Oh, is this where Kendrick's gonna be?
Yup.
Has that already happened? Oh shit, nice. Hey, okay. Dope.
February 11, 15? I forget.
Okay. Now, dope. Alright, bet. Cody, anything from you, bro?
Nah, I'm good.
I bet. For me, I don't know if it'll fall as gaming corner because it is out. But now for me, I'm really enjoying the new No Man's Sky update. Can't wait for the expedition to come out. That'll be sick. But all right, jumping into it. Gaming news, Max. What's been happening, bruv?
All right, so we start with possibly the biggest news of the week, which is internal shifts inside PlayStation, where I believe last year it was announced that Hideaki Nishino and Herman Holst were co-CEOs of the PlayStation. Well, now it's been announced that more shifts have taken place where Nishino now has become the sole CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, otherwise known as SIE, whereas Holst has returned to just being the head of PlayStation Studios. And for those wondering what that means, it just basically means that Herman Holst reports to Nishino, where Holst is in charge of first-party studios and any kind of game and development and possibly acquisition, whereas Nishino is overlooking the entire Sony gaming branch. There were more internal shifts inside of Sony, but those other shifts were the entire Sony company, the Sony business. There were other shifts that took place within the company business, but since that has nothing to do with gaming, I figured it's not really worth diving into. Nishino and Holst were the only really relevant figures within the gaming area. And all of these shifts will officially take place on April 1st of this year. It's funny, I don't know why. Actually, no, I was about to say, I don't know why Sony is so interested with April 1st, because I believe last year, Kojo, correct me if I'm wrong here, but last year even the co-CEO positions officially took place April 1st, right?
That I can't remember.
Well, I recall it was April, but as I say this, I think the reason why is because for Japan, the year begins April 1st, tax and all of those things take place in March, so probably tax and business reasons, it has to happen in April 1st for a clean start. That's what I'm suspecting. Then, sticking on to PlayStation and moving on, next year, PS Plus will no longer be included in PS4 games, with Sony shifting its focus onto the PlayStation 5. So, for those who've got PS Plus and for those in the know, understand that every month Sony releases free games for those who are signed up for PS Plus. And for the most part, Sony has been releasing games which are also available on PlayStation 4. But starting next year, that won't anymore be a thing, as the games now will be primarily focused on PS5. They will still be certain moments where PS4 games or games which are also available on PS4 will be included. But unlike where it currently is right now, where PS4 games are always thought of with each month, next year it will be a rarity when games are PS4 supported games are also offered, or PS4 platform is taken into consideration. So for those who have a PS4 and are on PS Plus and have been enjoying the games, take note of that maybe PS Plus, if you've been using PS Plus for the games, it might not only be worth your while, but if you use it to play online and to play with your friends or blah blah blah, then this probably doesn't really affect you. And then you guys remember the announcement of the Nintendo Switch 2 events?
Yes.
Yeah, and you guys remember how one got tickets for the events?
No. Selling their soul. I don't know.
Kojo, I'm pretty sure you.
Can't say I do.
That is surprising.
Nah, tell us, Max.
Right. Well, basically, Nintendo for their Switch 2 event were having events across the entire world, in America, in Japan, I think possibly even in Europe. And you had to go onto their website and apply to get a ticket. It's not just like, oh, tickets are available, go buy your ticket. No, it's you apply for a ticket and Nintendo will either confirm or reject your application. So guess whose application got rejected?
Dr. Disrespect. Donkey.
My name is Jeff.
Jeff. Keighley. No.
Yes.
Ah, yes. Nice. Go me.
Yes, I was also of the same reaction. However, because he put up a tweet saying that he failed to get a ticket. However, I believe some way, somehow, strings will be pulled and he'll still find his ass at the event. But I know I'm on a Jeff hate train, but after seeing this, I figured, you know what? If he fails to find himself a ticket, or if he fails to land himself at the event, I'm going to relax my Keighley hating ways.
You lying.
But if he manages to somehow wiggle his way into the event, I feel all my hating is justified. So we'll eventually find out what the deal is. I forget when the event is. It was either February or April, one of those two. My head is thinking it was April because, again, it goes back to the whole taxing, new quarter, fresh beginning. But at the same time, I'm like, it would make more sense for it to be in February, because why would they have announced the event is taking place in January if it's only going to happen in February? They could have, only going to happen in April. They could have waited for February or March to announce it, but I don't remember. Do any of you guys remember when it was announced?
Nah, fam.
When it's supposed to take place?
Sounds like an April thing.
Well, I remember last episode, I said something about the dates, and someone, I'm not mentioning names, had a go at me for not getting the dates right because I watched the wrong trailer. Not mentioning names. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway.
Hey, that was last week's business. This is new stuff.
I don't forget. Anyway.
Yes. If you don't forget, then state the date, damn it.
Elephant.
If I read the date right, according to the person who came at me last week, the American trailer said 2/4. No, I'm lying. The American trailer said 4/2/2025, and that's the one I watched.
Okay, so 2nd of April.
Yes.
Yeah, so you see. my brain reasoning was correct.
The brain meets.
Yes. Anyway, with that said, the last thing to make mention is this February 4th. By the time this episode is up, this probably would have already taken place, but by the possibility that the episode will go up before this, I might as well make an announcement. And if it's after the fact, at least people know that we were aware of this. Capcom will be hosting a gaming event on February 4th, where they will be showcasing some of their games like Monster Hunter, Wata Wata Wata. It's a few games, but for me, none of them were interesting except Onimusha. We're going to get our first look into Onimusha. I don't know if it's going to be gameplay or if it's just going to be more CGI footage. Hopefully it's gameplay. I'm crossing my fingers for gameplay, but that will be taking place. So people should look out for that if it hasn't already happened. If it has happened, hopefully it was a cool ass we got some cool ass footage. Monster Hunter, people will always be excited for Monster Hunter. The other stuff, I don't remember what they were. I don't think they were that important. Onimusha, again, I reiterate, is the main focus here. And that's all I have to share. Do you guys have anything you would like to add or share or correct or mention?
No. I don't know anything that's going on. Kojo?
Yes, I have a couple of things. So,
All right, hit us up.
yes, so 2 episodes ago, in the New Year episode, I briefly mentioned about how 2024 had a bunch of lows with layoffs, and I said it wasn't going to stop. Well, I was right. I hate to be the layoff guy. Maybe one day I'll just stop talking about layoffs, but anyway, this just came across my desk. Not just, but this came across my desk this past week. So Ubisoft is closing their studio, the UK-based studio in Leamington, and that is going to cost 185 jobs.
Oof, shame.
Yeah, it's really bad. And basically Ubisoft said, it's all part of their ongoing efforts to prioritize projects and reduce costs. The typical things companies say when they're laying people off. Ubisoft Leamington was founded in 2002 as Freestyle Games by a group of former Rare and Codemasters veterans, and they worked as a support studio on Tom Clancy's The Division series, Star Wars Outlaws, Skull and Bones, and Far Cry 5. And yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it sucks, but yeah. And moving on.
The average lifespan of a studio, is it like 2.5 years or something?
Is it? I have no idea. Good question, though.
I forget. It's supposed to be very short.
I feel like it depends on who the parent company is. So yeah, that's Ubisoft. Unfortunate. Now, moving on to BioWare. Gary McKay, the general manager of the studio, released a statement. It was a short statement. If you read it, it reads like a whole bunch of nothing, as usual, just a bunch of corporate speak. But basically, they're just saying that now that Dragon Age of Veilguard has released, they're focusing their efforts on the next Mass Effect game, and it's under the leadership of the veterans of the original trilogy, Mike Gamble, Preston Watermaniuk, and Derek Watts, and Parrish Lay, and a bunch of other people. And they said that at this stage of the development, they don't require support from the entire studio, so BioWare has lent out a bunch of their developers to other projects within EA. And people were like, oh, okay, cool, that's, whatever. And then certain BioWare employees came out on Twitter and said, hey, we no longer have jobs. So a few of them were editor Karen West Weeks, narrative designer and lead writer on Dragon Age of Veilguard Trick Weeks, and editor Ryan Cormier. They all said they lost their jobs, as well as Jen Chevrolet, who was a producer, and senior system designer Michelle Flam. They all announced on social media that they no longer have jobs. So they're looking for jobs. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have hopes for this new Mass Effect. I think a lot of people don't have hopes for this new Mass Effect anymore. BioWare just is not what it used to be at all.
When was the last time BioWare touched something of value? Like, BioWare ain't hit.
Yeah, that's
the fact that they're going to back to Mass Effect to me is a giant red flag.
No, the plan to go back to Mass Effect was always there. Like it was in the works around when Anthem was still there. So I'm not surprised of them saying the whole Mass Effect thing. That going back to Mass Effect or making a new Mass Effect has been teased for years. However, people have come and gone within that time. So, especially people who were instrumental in the original Mass Effect games have come and gone. So, I don't know.
For me, the whole Andromeda thing put me on a point of these guys should just move on from this franchise. But of course, in this day and age where corpos are afraid of new IPs and they just want to rely on old IPs because those IPs have fan bases, it's like,
well, then maybe people should buy new IPs.
That's tough, bro. Yo, money.
That could happen. That could happen if these corpos understood how to budget better. Because I don't know what it is, but for some weird ass reason, they want to be throwing 200 million, 100 million at the development of certain games. Like, why can't you just throw 50 million or 30 million and be like, this game was made on a shoestring or a budget shoestring? And that's because that's the level of the game. Like, if I use Hollywood movies, right, you get some stupid ass projects, specifically from Disney, where they're throwing $200 million or $300 million at the production of a movie, and you ask yourself why. Then you have other big budget movies which only have 100 million, 1 million, and then those make their money back because the price to create those movies weren't as steep. And I look at gaming the same way, where like there's certain projects where you can say, okay, we know this is gonna get money. Your Call of Duty, your Last of Us, Wata, established franchise which have always made money. You know you can throw the kitchen sink at the project and say this is gonna make us money. But other things haven't been around for that long, or the flavor for those things haven't been as strong. You should take a rein back and be like, let's relax on this and lower the budget. Like, a good example is Square. Square always comes out and say, oh, unfortunately, this didn't meet our expectations, our sales expectation. And it's like, bro, you can't be making a new IP where nobody even knows what it is or has a taste for it and throw in 200 million at it or whatever amount you threw at it and it didn't manage to make its money back. Same thing with Ubisoft. Guys have to relax. So with Mass Effect, I don't think Mass Effect is as powerful of an IP as it once used to be. It needs to get back the people's trust, the people's taste. So they need to take a step back and be like, okay, we don't have the budget that we used to. Let's earn that big budget back. But of course, that's never going to happen. That's too logical for these companies.
Okay, vibes. Oh, wait. Is that all, Kojo?
But yeah, that is it for my news.
Okay. Oh, wait. Well, that takes us to the gaming corner because I don't have anything. So what's come out, bruv?
So yeah, releases again, slow, beginning of the year. So let's start off with Eternal Strands, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X. Adventure Action, January 28th, 2025. Currently sitting at a 69 on Metacritic. Nice. Next up, we have Sniper Elite Resistance, PS5, PS4, PC, Xbox Series, Xbox One. Shooter Action, January 30th, 2025. Currently sitting at a 76 on Metacritic. This is the game that's part of the Sniper Elite series where when you shoot and you make a connect, like your bullet connects, it goes into slow motion and then it hits the body part, like the head or the organ, and you can see it's sort of like visceral. It's the main gimmick of the game. Next up, we have Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero, PC, which will be coming in spring. PS5, PS4, Nintendo Switch, already out. Strategy RPG game, January the 30th. Currently sitting at 77 on Metacritic. Next up, we have a re-release, Marvel Spider-Man 2 on PC. Open world action, January the 30th. Currently sitting at a 90 on Metacritic. Then we have Hello Kitty Island Adventure, PC, Nintendo Switch. Adventure Life Sim, January 30th. It's coming out on all the platforms. PS coming out later in 2025, currently sitting at an 83 on Metacritic. And then lastly, we have Citizen Sleeper 2, Star Wars Vector, PC, PS5, Xbox Series, and Nintendo Switch. It's an RPG, January 31st, 2025, currently sitting at an 85 on Metacritic. And yeah, that's it for the releases of the weekend in the gaming corner. What about you guys?
I honestly thought Hello Kitty Adventure was something Butters played on South Park. Honestly, didn't think it was a real game. Bruh, goddamn. Nothing from my side. Max, any releases you know of?
Hey, man. I never really focus on releases. What I do focus on is gaming stuff. And do you guys see about the Microsoft's quarter reports about their losses and their gains?
I saw something briefly that were like their console sales are down, but Game Pass subscriptions are up, which kind of doesn't make sense to me, but what do I know?
Yes. And did you also happen to see one that the amount they sold in general, like apparently 64% of sales were on the PlayStation platform?
Good for them. And they did say, well, Phil Spencer said in a podcast interview or whatever that they're planning on releasing more on other platforms. So.
Yeah, and that got people triggered. And that also had an analysis talking about how he feels in a couple of years, Sony's probably going to adopt a similar strategy of releasing on multi-platform, because game development is getting ridiculously expensive and you need to maximize profits, and multi-platform seems to be the strat to maximize profit. Hence why we see Sony releasing games on PC and now beginning to release a lot more sooner than they used to, where when they started off it was kind of like them testing the waters to see if there's a flavor for PS games on PC is there. Which also reminds me that Sony is now lowering restrictions on PSN account. on PSN requirements, where for the most part it looks like single player games don't anymore require a PSN account to play them. However, you get bonus content if you sign up for a PSN account. I don't understand how that works, what exactly the bonus content is going to be, because I would think you wouldn't shut people out from DLC, so I don't think it can be DLC content. So I don't play on PC, so I have no idea what those bonus content would look like, but that's, I think, something PC players should take note of, that they can go back to playing single player games without a PSN account. Multiplayer games, I believe, will still require that. But I say all of this to go back and talk about how Sony releasing multi-platform. I noticed on Twitter people getting upset at the possibility of Sony releasing multi-platform, and I'm just like, what is wrong with that? And a lot of people were like, nah, it needs to be exclusive. And I don't get the mania of exclusivity, where yes, I like my exclusive, but I'm not going to get big mad that a game is releasing on other platforms as well. I'm only going to get big mad with timed exclusive, because that's just a waste of my time. That's disrespectful. I will forever hate timed exclusives. But games releasing on other platforms is a good thing. I would think people should be happy that, hey, I don't anymore need a PlayStation, or I don't anymore need an Xbox to play this specific game, which, like, for example, if I don't have that many games I want to play on PlayStation, but there's one or two, PlayStation releasing on other platform means, okay, now I can play that one or two game I've always wanted, and maybe if I'm interested, I can dip my toes in other games. But for the most part, I finally get to access that 1 or 2 game I wanted. That's not a bad thing. And people need to stick their heads out of their asses and realize more choice, more gaming options is a good thing. Like, I don't know why people attach their self-identity, their self-pride and whatnot to these companies which have nothing to do with them. When you're dead and 6 feet under, these companies are going to continue chugging on. If they flop tomorrow and fail, your life has to continue on. Like, why are you attaching so much of your self-identity to these things as if your existence matters to them, or as if their existence affects your life? They're not your child, they're not your kin, they're not your friend. What they do doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of your personal life. Like, think. And this all comes from, I'm seeing somebody laughing on Twitter who pointed out saying, oh, Microsoft has gone and done multiplat. Sony will eventually do it. The winner here is Nintendo. Like, oh, great, so I need to buy a Nintendo console. Guess what? I haven't owned a Nintendo console since the Super Nintendo, because I don't care for Nintendo. However, if Nintendo games started appearing on other platforms, I'll be like, you know what? Let me give this Nintendo game a try, because it's much cheaper to commit to a game than it is to commit to a system. Like, I don't give a flying fuck about I understand I'm ranting, but I just wanted to get this across. I don't give a flying fuck about the Switch 2. I'm not going to invest $400 or $500 into a core console system to play maybe 1 or 2 games in an entire console generation of 7 years. However, if their games were now available on PC or other platforms, I'll be like, you know what? That Super Mario game looks a little interesting, or that Donkey Kong game looks interesting. Let me give it a go. You guys get what I'm saying?
Kojo, you go first.
Yes, I hear what you're saying, Maxwell. It's, for the most part, makes sense. No, like, we get it. You bring it up every episode. You don't like Nintendo. We get it. We hear you. It's come across loud and clear. Just saying. But yes, it would be cool if, people get to play more games. But if everything becomes cross-platform, then what is the point of owning a PlayStation or owning an Xbox? I might as well just go own a PC.
Yes, come join us.
And there's nothing wrong. There's completely nothing wrong with that. I mean, we've had the whole exclusivity console PC conversation. So if people are interested to hear where we stand on all of that, they can always go watch those videos. We can link them onto this video. It will be in the title card, the sliding card, if people care to check that out. I don't even remember what we spoke about in those things, but I would assume what we're saying now and what we said back then, our stances shouldn't have changed.
Yeah, look, from our side, whether everything becomes one platform and, all that type of shit. I mean, when the whole world becomes VR, none of us are going to touch consoles. Or like, even augmented reality. Okay, no, augmented won't go too far in the future. But like virtual reality, like game links, you know what I'm saying? When you put that shit on your head, you just lie on your bed, and then Axel World, fucking, you know what I'm saying? Shit. Like, when that's all one unified platform, all this shit is not gonna matter. For me, what I say is, so long as I have something that can access a majority of games, I think the stupidest thing for me personally is this whole thing of exclusives to certain consoles, like fuck Nintendo as a whole. But like, yeah, it's just it sucks that it's like different streaming services. Have it all in one place, goddammit. But yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, we're done, Tom.
Oh, my bad. Max had a conclusion. Okay, yeah. Anyways, that brings us to the halfway point. If you like it so far, please do leave a like and subscribe. Yeah, shit. There's a lot to cover in the content creator side, but I'm gonna keep it pretty short. So, pedophiles. DJ Akademiks banned on Twitch after scandal of a Twitch streamer. Now I saw this on Abba and Preach, and then I went to read up more, and it's to see he got banned on Twitch. So he was also called out by FaZe. I don't know what the fuck name.
Quick question about that ban. Is there a difference between a Twitch ban and a Twitch suspension, or it's all just whatever word you prefer using?
Twitch doesn't really use the word suspension. It'll just use ban. So there's permaban, and then there's just your normal ban for like 7 days. Sometimes 24 hours, depending on your status.
I saw some people trying to emphasize the fact that Akademiks called it a suspension, and then it had me wondering, like, is there even a fucking difference, really?
No.
But I don't use Twitch, so I didn't know.
So for him, what he probably means by suspension is that they withheld the money he made so far.
That, and you're probably saying that it was timed, not perma.
Yeah. So it's just within a few days.
That's what I was saying, that it's he's looking at it as a temporary thing, and some other people are trying to make it seem like, no, it's not temporary, it's permanent until a certain period. And I'm like, guys,
that's what temporary is. Oh God.
Why are we speculating on the length of a thing we don't know? So let's just see what comes out of it.
So yeah, anyways, he was ousted by one of a FaZe member clan, whatever, towards a 15-year-old kid. Yeah, it was very messy. Go watch that Abba and Preach version. You can do your own research, that's fine too. But anyways, DJ Akademiks came back saying yo, he's very sincere, this and this, he's gonna work with Twitch to make it right. And I was like, oh, dude, whatever, bro. Leading on to that, we also have Destiny in the same pretty icky situation, not involving kids, but possibly a rapist. So a lot of private content has now been shared over the internet, and a lot of people are breaking their silence, with allegations of Destiny and what he has done to women. So one of the victims, named Pixie, who is also in the content side, but I don't know. Destiny had asked her, to send images of herself when she was 19, which I mean is obviously at a point is a lot of people. I don't know. The debate was disgusting. Why people even justify that as an okay age? Either way, it's grooming, bro. I don't know. But anyway, shortly after, another streamer named Cherry.
Wait. 19 is not grooming.
Hey, my nigga, I don't want to get into it. I don't know. Yeah.
How old is he? Or was
okay,
he?
Stop. Pause. One, we are not getting into this one.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know if Tammy's going to mention it, but it wasn't so much the fact that she sent him messages, it was so much the fact that he did a whole revenge porn type of thing.
Yeah, saying if you don't sleep with me, I'll release this shit and I'll ruin your career. You're not gonna go far.
Yeah, according to her, I briefly scanned through this, but according to her, he did release those things, which is why she's pushing this whole, I'm gonna sue you, I'm gonna do whatever.
That's problematic because 19 is not an issue. 8, you are legal. You, according to the law of a land, you're doing nothing wrong once the person is 18. Yes, we have our personal preferences, but 18 days, absolutely nothing wrong. There's Hugh Hefner at 74 sleeping with 18-year-olds and nobody bats an eye. So I'm not going to vilify this guy doing something with a 19-year-old. Because I was about to say, it gives me vibes of, you guys heard the story about the dude who matched with a 18-year-old on Tinder and he was 23 years old. And then when he went to meet up with her, there was some dudes who jumped out and beat the shit out of him and made him go to the hospital, where they actually set him up. They had the girl make a Tinder profile. And then when he and her matched, they told the girl, okay, now meet with him. And the girl was 18. and he was 23. So literally, there's nothing wrong with their age. But then these dudes beat the guy up saying, "Oh, you're a pedo," and stuff like that. So that was just giving me that vibe when you said she was 19. I was like, whoa. Let's not vilify a guy for consensually dealing with an adult. Even if he was 50 and she was 19, it's still an adult. It's just, okay, you are taking advantage of somebody whose brain hasn't really matured. But according to the law of the land, it would still be okay.
Man,
I did say we weren't going to get into this, but
fuck the police. Anyways, everyone is preying on his downfall. So, now that the accusations are public and everything, and obviously, like, they're throwing around legal proceedings here and there. So, there's stuff he can say, there's stuff he can't say. Yeah. But anyways, this whole thing of threatening people that you're going to send their stuff, without ever being consented. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes for Destiny. And then lastly...
he's going down.
No, facts.
Which country does he live in?
Destiny's American, I believe. He's a hardcore liberal.
America.
Yeah, okay. Then I don't know America's stance on revenge content. I know some other countries, the minute you release revenge content, you are effed.
Yeah, I mean, they have the whole prawn industry. So, I mean, obviously, it's not. Who knows if it's revenge at this point, goddamn? Because yeah. But anyways, so rumors are spreading about Bobby Althoff and Tyga. I only mentioned this because this was on Twitch, so it kind of counts, I guess. Tyga, the rapper, and Bobby Althoff, the podcast. I want to say, has been, because of the whole Drake situation and how that ended, and Lil Yachty and how that ended. But hey, yeah. Anyways, so the comments were nasty. Some people like watching them, and they're just agreeing on a lot of shit, and all this. People are speculating dating rumors and all this, but comments were like, yeah, nah, Tyga, she must feature in your OnlyFans, or I usually skip this part, hey, bro, the fuck. But anyways, I don't know how this is gonna pan out. It's Tyga, of course, yeah. They just mustn't do anything on stream, bro. This lady's destroyed her career, her life, marriage, motherhood already, bro. But anyways, yeah. I like these celebs who are streaming now. It's interesting to see what they do, bro. They're just as human as us. I mean, obviously they've always been, but like, they're human, which is weird. But anyways, and yeah, that's pretty much it for content creation on my side. Kojo, you got some shit?
No, nothing for me this time.
All right. Max, any Johnny Somali stuff?
Just one stuff. Do you guys see the clip of Kai Cenat and his crew kicking around the robot?
Yes, I've seen a clip of that.
Yeah, I just thought it was deplorable behavior, and it's not necessarily, oh, look at them kicking around the poor robot type of thing. Because I think some people said it nicely, where it's not really a thing about the treatment of a robot, but more so just their behavior in general. Where, let's see, Kai Cenat is 23, turning 24 this year. The Phantom is 27, turning 28 this year, or around there. And then the other person, Agent, is 28, turning 29 this year. Whereas, like, these are grown ass men acting like school bullies, and the way they're laughing and kicking the robot around, like, oh, look how funny it is. It was just like, it's a hard watch, like, it's cringe as fuck. And I'm like, it had me thinking about, as stupid as IShowSpeed behaves, I think personally IShowSpeed is by far a better personality than Kai Cenat.
I would say that, well, I would agree in that sense, because IShowSpeed is a solo streamer, whereas Kai has the whole mob mentality of stupid ass niggas, so if it was Kai by himself, it might be a whole different story. But yeah, I agree with you.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, actually, that where IShowSpeed, when he does his stupid things, his stupid things are kind of harmless, and it doesn't really show any negativity to his character. And like you said, it's him by himself doing these silly antics. Whereas Kai, like you said, it's mob mentality, and nothing ever looks good when you're doing something stupid as a group, where it's just like, bro, grow up. And for me, there's a dissonance because I've heard Kai speaking in interviews and all of these things where he looks mature and he's saying all the right things. Then his behavior on stream, where it's just like, okay, which here is the real you? The person who's doing all these interviews and saying these smart things, or the person in front of a camera doing all these antics with your group who are enabling you? And I think it's important to look at the group thing because it also gives me flashes of people like Drake, where when you have a group around you, they just enable you. They're just yes men around you. And this is like a gathering of idiots doing stupid things where it's like fighting for the last brain cell. Where especially with the Phantom and the Agent guy, where like, you guys are almost in your 30s and you're behaving like this. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Kai Cenat has this small little leeway of he's still pretty relatively young, so there's still some level of maturity. He's still a grown-ass man, but there's still some level of maturity that he needs to do. They scientifically, supposedly, the brain only develops by the age of 25. So you as a young person doing stupid shit is understandable. But these guys have surpassed 25 years later and they're still out here doing dumb shit as if they're 5 years younger. Like, I don't understand people who are fans of Phantom or fans of this Agent guy, where it's just like, we give stages to the most stupidest people out there.
I agree, though.
And I say all of this because I've never been a fan of Kai Cenat and IShowSpeed. But with time, I've started to appreciate IShowSpeed, where I'm like, you know what? I was being too harsh on this guy. The more I see about him, he's for the most part harmless. Whereas Kai Cenat now, my opinion of him hasn't changed. It's more grown deeper. There's a side to this guy where I think he puts an act on for the camera. But then when I say he puts an act on for the camera, I don't know in the sense of, is he acting more immature just for the camera? Or does he behave himself like in interviews and stuff like that just for the camera, where we're seeing two conflicting sides to this guy? Whereas IShowSpeed is more consistent, congruent to his personality. What you see is what you get. He does stupid stuff and whatnot. Yes, he puts up the ante when he's doing his streams and stuff like that. But even if a camera stops rolling, I think IShowSpeed is probably still the same person. Maybe a little calmer, but still essentially the same person. Kai Cenat, I don't think so. I think outside of a camera, he's a different individual. And I'm going to wager a bet right now. I don't know if this is going to take place 5 years from now, 1 year from now, 10 years from now. But I'm wagering a bet that there's going to be some type of controversy that will threaten Kai Cenat's career, but IShowSpeed is only just going to grow from strength to strength. That's my prediction of their career paths.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, his whole career is based off of his, well, okay, I won't say whole career. The majority of it is based off of his crew.
And you know, when you have a crew, there's always certain individuals who are sketchy, and it throws the whole crew into question because birds of a feather flock together. You're when you're in a crew, it's not like what one person or two people are doing is a secret from everyone. You're probably enabling each other. So people better be on their lookout for controversy that's going to pop up around Cenat.
Agreed. But yeah.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to share.
Thanks, man. Esports side, don't have anything. Nothing much has started yet. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the Tarkov death matches seem interesting, but hey. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Kojo, any esports from you?
Not this episode, but I'll have a couple of things for next episode.
Bucci gang. Max, any esports?
Funnily enough, there was something I wanted to mention, and then I just completely forgot what it was. But since it's esports and I never have anything for esports, I figured it probably wasn't all that important.
Okay. Feel you there, bro. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. episode 93. Thank you so much for hanging out. And again, please do leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And let us know if you had any thoughts or comments about what we've discussed. Leave it in the comment section, and we'll check y'all on the next episode. Thanks once again, gents. And check your games next time. Eat, sleep, and poop. Peace out.